Hi everybody, it's Kathy here, and I am here with a Scrapasketch creative team layout for the month of November. And this month I am going ahead with a Premier Sketch number 92 from the November 2024 collection from www.scrapsketch.com, where Lisa has her premium range where she releases sketches exclusively online through her online shop, and they are for premium members only, and that's why I can't show you the sketch at the moment, but I can walk you through the process. So what I have started with is a 12 by 12 pumpkin cardstock here, which I'm going to now gut and create a 1-inch frame around which my layout will focus. And I'm using the pumpkin to showcase the colours of my photos, and I am trimming down this grid paper here by 1/4 of an inch on each side so that it fits in. And in Lisa's sketch she has this section in the middle where it's a diamond shape, and she is using 6x6 papers, but because my photos are a little bit larger than the ones Lisa has on the sketch, I'm creating a 7.5 by 7.5, which means I am going to build that square by using 2.5 by 2.5 squares here, and I'm going to layer them up with 2 colours, and that's going to allow me to create that background diamond shape that I need for this layout. So I'm going to pull it together nice and slowly, and it's really funny because as I lay it out this way, you can see that I've gone with the black and the corners, but then I actually change it when I put it all down, and I end up with the green and white stripes in the corners, and it ties in nicely with the layout that I need to create for this this sketch. So this is a way of stretching what you have to create what you need, and it's an easy way of extending your stash, especially if you only have a limited number of pieces of paper that you want to use. So I don't know about you, sometimes I choose papers and then realize I don't have enough to create what I want, so I have to get creative and extend, and this is a great way of doing it as well. So I'm just layering up this inner square, which will become like a diamond in the layout, and I've used all of my pieces here so that you can see it marries in nicely. Now that middle section there I'm going to build with strips of the leftover paper, but I actually don't even need to do that because when it all comes together that gets covered up, but I just put it there to create the structure and hold that square rigid. Now I'm just putting in this last piece here, and then I'll put that to the side so we can start building the layout. So hopefully now you should have your 1-inch frame, you've got your base, which we're now going to put together. Using double-sided tape, I always release one at a time so that it goes down nice and flat and you don't get that ripple across your layout. Once you've got that, we then need to build a horizontal line across this layout that Lisa has created, and she has done that by creating 1-inch strips. And I'm using a 6x6 pad, and I've got 3 different colours that I'm going to use, or 3 different papers, and I'm trimming them down to 1-inch strips, and then that will allow me to stagger them across, creating the horizontal line to draw your eye across the page. And horizontal bars are really great as an anchor point on the layout, and they add that little extra bit of interest. Now I do individually tape all of my papers together. That allows it to adhere to the surface. I don't want it lifting, I don't want it moving, so that's why I do the double. Other people do a single, some people use their glue, some use a tape runner. Whatever your adhesive is, use what works best for you, but make sure that when you're putting it down it's nice and secure so that it doesn't lift and doesn't move, so and your photos stay on the layout. Now that I've done this, I want to make sure that each of the strips add a little bit of interest to the layout and stand up off that background. That grid is great, but sometimes it can make things just blend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some scorched timber ink the distress ink, and I'm going to ink the edges all the way around each of these strips, and that will help to build the shadowing effect around the layout. Now, if you don't own very many inks, or you just want to have one that's versatile for lots of layouts, I suggest a dark one. Black Soot is a good one. You can also use this one, which I've got, which is Scorched Timber. You could also use a Gathered Twigs. I use Gathered Twigs quite a lot. It gives a nice smoky brown to the edges. It gives it like an antique feel when you're distressing your paper with ink. Now, if you only want to purchase one, you just make sure that it's one that you're going to use regularly. And as I said, I have used Gathered Twigs for many, many years, and now Scorched Timber seems to be my one that I go to more often. So I'm just going to layer up this horizontal bar across like the layout that Lisa has created. As I said, it's part of her premium sketch range, which you can find at www.scrapasketch.com. I'll have all the links down below in my description box that you can go to. You can go to her website to see her premium range, or you can go to her Facebook group where we have a new sketch every Friday released, and they're for free, and they are great starting points for building layouts, especially when you're stuck. And sometimes when you're sitting there and you're contemplating what to do with photos, you know how many photos you want, but you're not sure how you want it to look. A sketch is a great way to start, and Scrapasketch, Lisa's got over 200 sketches on her page at the Facebook place, and plus she has also got challenges which might inspire you to create as well. So this horizontal line is a different effect. It's not a straight horizontal line. I like that it's jagged across. Even though most of it gets covered up, which you'll see in a moment, it's still there. I know it's there. You now know it's there because you've seen it. But I'm going to use this piece here that Lisa has on hers, and it's the diamond effect, and that's the anchor point for your photos. So the horizontal bar creates the anchor point for the layout. The diamond part in the middle creates the anchor point for your photos, and that's so that they don't look like they're just hanging in space doing nothing. They've actually got a purpose on your layout. So these two photos here, as I said, are of my son. He was about 12 at the time, very, very into Halo. This was for our book week parade at school. He actually was reading the Halo books at that time. His brother also was reading the Halo books, so it was very much not only just the gaming side of it, but the story behind Master Chief. They very much got into Halo and really devoured anything related to it. So this photo here, I don't have enough of the pumpkin cardstock, as you can see, but I'm going to create the mat, and that's the best thing about good quality cardstock. You can create a mat by mixing and matching pieces, and because it's the same color, it blends nicely, and it's only when you're really up close that you see the join, but when you use your embellishments, that also tends to hide it as well. So I am going to layer this up like the sketch. Lisa has two photos on her sketch, and they are at opposing angles to that diamond. That gives you some more interest. She then runs her title across this top corner here to the left, and that's where I'm putting mine, and it's the word awesome. And then she has two clusters at the points of the photos joining. So I'm just using some ephemera that I've collected from the Cocoa Vanilla No Limits collection, and also some phrasing that I've cut out from my Scrapbook Fantasies paper that I've been using on the Grunge Street with the speech bubbles in it. And I did have another one, but I've dropped it somewhere, and I do not know where I dropped it, so I'm used the Epic from the Cocoa Vanilla as another speech bubble to the top. I'm just layering up some little tags here in behind the cluster. One says top priority and the other one says limited. I think it's a limited or something like that. And that's just helping to build and anchor the clusters together. And now in Lisa's sketch, she actually has flowers in the clusters, but because this is a boy layout, a masculine layout, I've gone with the gaming to match the theme, and just showing you that you can be versatile in choosing your own clusters to match what your themes of your photos are all about, so that you can diversify a sketch. And just because it is one way on the piece of paper or on the design, as long as you're using the key elements, you can change it up to match your needs. So I'm just going to adhere all of these off screen so you don't have to sit through that process. I am looking for that extra missing one. I don't know what happened to it. I move things around. It's probably here somewhere and I'll find it when I'm cleaning up. But there you go. It's all adhered. I did pop up that boom on some foam tape and Epic onto foam tape so that it stands up and above the layout, giving it some depth and shadow. I'm using a white gel pen here to journal across this grid point paper, and white gel pens I have a love-hate relationship with. They work sometimes and then other times they don't work. I don't understand it. It's just something to do with the flow and the nib. I'm now putting in some pops of colour, which I will flick underneath to create the enamel dot effect just to finish off these clusters. This layout is a beautiful layout. It is a great masculine layout. It is number 92 of November 2024 from Lisa's premium range. Love to show it to you, but hey, go over to www.scrapasketch.com and you can check out that sketch for yourself. But if you followed through and followed me step by step and scrapped with me, you too will have this layout created just for your albums. Don't forget that you can go to the Facebook group where there's sketches every Friday. At Scrapsketch Premium, you can get printables, stencils, and the new ebook, and use my discount code of Kathy Loves to Scrap 10, and that will help you achieve great layouts for your albums, a lot of ideas, fresh ideas and sketches to help you strip and stretch. The link to the Scrapbook the Facebook group will be down below. She's also on Instagram, check her out. And as I said, use my Kathy Loves to Scrap 10 code on checkout at scrapasketch.com. And thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Here's the next video. Happy scrapping. Till next time, I'm sure you're going to be inspired.